This underrated Star Trek, The Next Generation episode is actually one of Worf's best. Michael Dorn's surly Klingon Starfleet officer, Worf, son of Mo, is probably the greatest character innovation in Star Trek, The Next Generation. From the moment he walked onto the bridge in Encounter at Farpoint in the first episode of TNG, then Lieutenant Worf has had an undeniable presence, drawing the gaze of audiences and crew members alike. He is tough and, as he proclaims in Cupid, not a merry man. Having held positions ranging from Starfleet captain to Federation ambassador to the Klingon Empire, it's not a stretch to say Worf was the most important Klingon of the 24th century. After his TNG introduction, Worf became a recurring character in both Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Star Trek Picard, and with every appearance, Worf rose to the occasion and shown how capable a Klingon can be in Starfleet. Of course, this was not always a given. In Star Trek, the original series, the Klingon Empire and the Federation were far from friendly, so Worf's presence on the USS Enterprise in TNG revealed a Star Trek paradigm shift. To become the hero he was meant to be, Worf had to grow and change. That growth started in TNG. Lieutenant Worf's best episode in Star Trek, The Next Generation, which best reveals the emotional depths of his warrior soul, is Season 5, Episode 16, Ethics. Over the first 5 seasons of TNG, LT, Worf's identity is slowly built outwards and expanded upon. He is not just a threatening force on Captain Jean-Luc Picard's Patrick Stewart bridge. Worf is a poker player who drinks tea, loves Klingon opera, and has a young son, Alexander Rozhenko Brian Bonesall. Ethics puts Worf in a position where an injury strips all those things away. As a result, seeing Worf confront the limitations of his own body is incredibly moving. Because Worf understands himself first and foremost as a warrior, he sees suicide as the more honorable alternative to living with paralysis. The scene where Worf asks Commander Riker Jonathan Frakes to help him die is incredibly well handled, as is Commander Riker's refusal. The fact that it is his son, Alexander, that convinces LT. Worf that life is worth fighting for, no matter his physical abilities, is one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in Star Trek. Ethics totally defies that criticism and shows LT. Worf at his most reflective and vulnerable. Worf, the stoic and honorable Klingon officer aboard the USS Enterprise D, is often one of Star Trek, The Next Generation's most intriguing characters. Throughout the series, he navigates the tension between his Klingon heritage and his duties as a Starfleet officer, offering a fascinating window into the complexities of identity, loyalty, and honor. While Worf has been a key figure in many of the series' most memorable episodes, there's one underrated episode that showcases his strengths in ways few others do. The Emissary from Season 4 is often overlooked when discussing Worf's character development, but it's easily one of his best moments in the entire series. Worf's journey of self-discovery. The Emissary is a pivotal episode not just for Worf, but for Star Trek as a whole. The episode centers around the arrival of Kurn, Worf's estranged brother, who is sent to the Enterprise as a part of a diplomatic mission. The plot kicks off when Kurn requests Worf's help in reclaiming a Klingon outpost that was abandoned by the Empire years earlier. For Worf, this mission becomes more than a duty. It's an opportunity to reconcile with his past, with his family, and with his own identity as a Klingon. At its core, The Emissary is about Worf's internal conflict, a theme that runs throughout his entire arc in the series. This episode, more than any other, sheds light on Worf's emotional depth. While his usual role as the stoic, duty-bound officer is well established, the tension between his loyalty to Starfleet and his allegiance to Klingon traditions is brought to the forefront in a deeply personal way. When Kurn arrives on the ship, there's a palpable sense of unease between the brothers. Their relationship has been strained for years, with Worf choosing Starfleet over the Klingon Empire and Kurn embracing the more traditional, militaristic side of Klingon culture. This tension sets the stage for a story that explores Worf's fractured identity, his love for his people, his desire to prove himself as a warrior, and his duty to Starfleet. What makes The Emissary so powerful is that it allows Worf to face these conflicting sides of himself head-on. The strength of Worf's vulnerability. One of the most striking aspects of The Emissary is Worf's vulnerability, which is often hidden beneath his tough exterior. His relationship with Kurn brings out his emotional side, something viewers don't often get to see. In a powerful scene, Worf and Kurn have an argument in which Worf reveals his deepest pain, the feeling that he is an outsider both among the Klingons and in Starfleet. Worf's bitterness at being rejected by his people is palpable. For a character who often masks his feelings, this moment is a rare but crucial insight into his psyche. What makes Worf's vulnerability even more powerful is how it contrasts with the perception of him as a warrior. Throughout The Next Generation, Worf has been portrayed as a paragon of strength, honor, and discipline. Yet in The Emissary, the episode strips away this image and shows a more human side to Worf, one that is conflicted and deeply emotional. This contrast makes the episode feel particularly impactful because it's one of the few times when the audience sees the internal struggle of the character in a raw and unfiltered way. His conversations with Kurn reveal the cracks in his stoic facade, but they also highlight Worf's underlying strength. It's clear that despite his pain, Worf is determined to do what he believes is right, regardless of the cost. This unflinching resolve is what makes him such a compelling character. He might struggle with his identity, but he never wavers in his commitment to honor and duty. His interactions with Kurn bring that resolve into sharp focus, especially when Worf is willing to risk his own reputation and well-being to help his brother reclaim his honor. A bond beyond blood. The episode also explores the concept of brotherhood in ways that are rarely seen in the series. While Worf and Kurn's relationship is fraught with tension, their connection as brothers goes beyond mere family ties. Their bond is forged in a shared history, one that includes both triumphs and failures, and it's that bond that ultimately drives Worf to make difficult choices for the sake of his family and his people. In The Emissary, Worf must navigate the fine line between his duty to Starfleet and his loyalty to his Klingon heritage. When Kurn seeks his help to restore the outpost, Worf is forced to make a choice: help his brother and potentially risk his standing in Starfleet, or refuse and distance himself further from his Klingon roots. In the end, Worf chooses to help Kurn, but it's a decision that doesn't come without consequences. His actions ultimately bring about a greater understanding between the two brothers, but they also force Worf to confront the deep-rooted feelings of rejection and isolation that have haunted him for years. It's in these moments that Worf truly shines. Unlike many of the other characters, Worf's decisions are rarely easy, and his internal struggles are much more pronounced. The way the episode shows him grappling with his emotions, his heritage, and his role in the galaxy is a testament to the depth of his character. What makes Worf so compelling in The Emissary is that he is forced to choose between two worlds that he feels alienated from. His decision to help Kurn doesn't just highlight his loyalty to his brother, but also underscores Worf's ability to adapt, to evolve, and to reconcile the disparate parts of his identity. A rare moment of honor and redemption. In the end, The Emissary is a deeply personal episode for Worf, one that pushes him to confront his past, his pain, and his duty. It doesn't offer easy answers or resolutions, but it shows Worf in a way that few other episodes do. This is a man,